Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Three, two, one. Let's go. Hope we're live. So, happy end of summer, August 21st. Can't believe it's coming up until the end of summer already. Very wild. Hope everyone had a great summer. So, if you've been following along with us, we've been doing a lot of great programs for you to apply for. We have another one today called the Save New Jersey program. So, a couple benefits. This will be a little bit briefer than our other presentations. The other ones we went through are a little bit more in depth than this one, but this is nonetheless still a very great program to apply for. It can lead to thousands of dollars in savings, so you definitely want to take advantage of it. Without further ado, we'll just go into it and jump in. And a little housekeeping before we start. I'm Robert O'Keefe. I'm the creator of Over 55 NJ and the owner of Rock Realty. We're based in Monmouth County. We cover all over New Jersey. We help people make educated decisions when downsizing, when moving around, and really moving anywhere in New Jersey. If you're looking to move out of state too, we have a great network of agents. A lot of people reach out to us, very common. We had a couple people actually looking at Delaware and Pennsylvania today, actually. So we could connect you with someone that's good, that's someone that specializes in this, and someone that's no pressure, easy to work with, like ourselves, that wants to develop a relationship and wants the best for you. So don't hesitate to reach out. Our website here at the bottom is over55nj.homes, where you can just go and check out the inventory. You can search by single families, you can search by condos, you can search by one car and two car garages. I was speaking to someone today that wanted a three-car garage in his 55 plus community. He had a bunch of cars in his current place, and believe it or not, there's actually properties like that with three-car garages in 55 plus communities. So there's really something for everybody. We encourage you to go online as the first step to your search, kind of poke around, and just kind of just search for what's best for you. So without further ado, we'll jump into it. And this is kind of an exciting topic today, something that's free to apply for and could lead to thousands of dollars. So, this is called the Stay New Jersey program. Now, in the past, we talked about the PAS1 form. This is due October 31st, 2025. The PAS is more property savings. So, that goes into the senior freeze, that goes into the anchor tax rebate, and that goes into the Stay New Jersey program, which is a big rebate on your property taxes. This one goes into some other things. And here it is, nice graphic on the screen. Thank you, Kim. So, like I said, the Anchor program, the Senior Freeze, which is, we'll just go into these very briefly because it's a very important topic. The Anchor is an annual rebate on your property taxes. The Senior Freeze is a rebate year over year on any property tax increases. So, a little bit of a misnomer. Your property taxes don't actually freeze. Basically, you get a reimbursement on any potential increases once you lock in your property to this. So, again, it's kind of like another annual reimbursement. And then the State New Jersey program, this is very exciting. This cuts property taxes up to half for seniors with a cap of $6,500. And those payments are made quarterly. And that's going to roll out in 2026. So, those are the kind of like the big savings. We're going to talk about another program today, but the very important thing with this one is there's an October 31st the October 31st deadline for the PAS1 program. So you definitely don't want to miss that. The Save New Jersey program is a little bit different. We'll call it like the sister program of it. There's no deadline at all, so you can apply whenever you want. Just better to just get it done. We'll have some resources for you. If you want a copy of that, just write copy in the comments, kind of like a guide of how to apply for that. And it's different. It's different. Like it doesn't have to do with property taxes, but it has different benefits and different savings across many programs. So the first one is pharmaceuticals. We'll just go into this in a little bit more in depth. So there's two senior cost saving programs in New Jersey. So the first is the PAAD program. It stands for Pharmaceutical Assistance to the Aged and the Disabled. And so there's income limits with this. And essentially what it does is it provides $5 to $7 copays on prescription drugs. So a nice little benefit there. The next one is called the Senior Gold. So there's a different income level for that one. Think of it as the next level up. So if you make an income below the threshold for the PAAD program, you would go into the Senior Gold bucket. And this is just another discount there. We'll go into more of the discounts there. Then there's the lifetime utility credit. So that gives a $225 yearly credit for gas and electric bills. So not a huge amount, but something you don't want to leave on the table. Um, then there's the hearing aid, which is one of my favorites. So hearing aids gets very expensive. I was actually I had a foot problem earlier this year. You wouldn't believe how high prosthetics were and the cost of these things. Imagine hearing aids are pretty expensive too. And this program will give you a $500 to $1,000 reimbursement for hearing aids. So if you need a hearing aid, you think you need a hearing aid, this is a good incentive to get checked out. And then, like I said, the state will reimburse you if you qualify for this program. So don't hesitate to reach out to your doctor. This might be a good incentive for you to do so if you think you need one of these, or you eventually do need one of these. So a lot of good stuff here, and a lot of good stuff to fill out this program. I think we just got booted off for a second. Feel free to drop any questions below in the chat. Just make sure we're on here. So a lot of good stuff here. So now we'll just go into the next side. So the benefit is there's no deadlines to apply for this program. You definitely want to do it as soon as possible just to start locking in your savings. We're going to go into like the wallet guide now and how these programs are paid out. So we'll just bring up the slide here. The advantage is there's just one application. You just fill out and then you're good to go. And there's some income limits that apply. So we'll just go into the slide here in the summary table. All right, here we go. So this is kind of like a nice little summary we put together. So the PAAD, so think of what the physical attributes and the physical things you need are. You're going to get 2 cards in the mail. If you qualify for the PAAD program, you get a card for that. And a Senior Gold will have a card as well. You usually qualify for one or the other based on your income limits. And then you just simply show this at the pharmacy. Common question is, does Medicare cover this? You want to use your Medicare first and then just kind of use this as a backup option. Now, we're not financial or tax or health advisors, so definitely just look into this yourself. But Medicare will just generally cover a lot of this, but these are kind of like backup programs for certain different type of drugs, and just something to take advantage of if you qualify for it. It's free to apply, so why not? The lifeline is the utility rebate. So this is a utility bill or check that's just returned to you. So it's not actually a physical card. The hearing aid is just a regular reimbursement. The Medicare savings is an auto premium and deductible. And then the Senior Freeze Anchor Stay New Jersey, that's the different program. That's the PAS1 program. These are just checks or deposits. So it's kind of like a little summary sheet we made for you. Basically, the rule of thumb is you want to just bring your cards to the pharmacy. The main savings and the way to look at this, or the main savings with these programs, are the pharmaceutical cards. Drugs can get very expensive, especially if you need a specific type of drug. And also for the hearing aid. So those aren't cards, but that's like kind of like one of the major savings is you can get up to $1,000 reimbursement on your hearing aids. So, like I said, this will be short. There's not really a lot to discuss here in terms of the application. It's really just a one online quick application that you fill out and you're entitled to these benefits. We make these videos, particularly with you in mind, because a lot of things get lost in the shovel. Sooner or later, you'll probably forget to fill out these forms. I always think of my parents who are very well versed with the news, but like this news doesn't really make it to their feeds, if you will. Like the main stories will kind of like come to their feeds, and a lot of times they'll either forget or just a lot of people aren't even aware of these programs. And there's good money that you just don't want to leave on the table. I'm reminded by a famous business owner, author Jeffrey Gitomer, who talked about his basketball coach and asked his basketball coach what the best lesson is for like an aspiring basketball player. Basketball coach walks over to the basket, takes a quick layup. Layup goes in, easy shot. He said 99% of games are won or lost based on this one simple shot. So long story short, don't miss your layups. And when you have easy money on the table that you can just apply for online, you just don't want to miss that. It's not a lot of money. It's not as extensive as the PAS1 application, but it's just something to take advantage of and just something to jump on. We're very excited and very thankful we get to bring you this information. We look at us, well, we look at this as kind of relevant information that directly impacts your life, and we're always here as a resource for you for any questions. A lot of the big mainstream media sources will just give you the headlines, but we want to give you actionable pieces of value, and we kind of like it that way, where you can slide in that niche here, bring you actual stuff that you can take and actual stuff you can use and actual money you can save, which always helps. So now we'll go into some questions and answers and we'll finish up. Like I said, this will be a short one today. Why is New Jersey Save important for seniors and people with disabilities? It's important because one, you're not left behind, but two, of all the important savings. So you do have to apply for it. Um, New Jersey Save, it doesn't issue Save New Jersey, yeah, New Jersey Save. So you do have to apply for it. It is money you could be potentially be living on the table. So it's important for a lot of people, and it's important just to take advantage of these programs because you just don't want to leave money on the table. And if your conditions, God forbid, worsen, if you need different types of drugs, you could be paying out of pocket for those. This is a good safeguard and insurance policy against that. So even if you don't think you need the program, even if you don't think you can qualify, it's a good idea just to apply for it anyway. The application's quick. If you need a copy of the guide, just write to us guide, and we'll be able to send you that and just send you a yearly reminder as well, so you don't forget about this. Let's go into the next question. Can New Jersey Save help with my property taxes directly? So New Jersey Save is doesn't help with property taxes. So that's more for the PAS1 application. We did another video on that, and if you want a guide on that, we have a guide for you on how to apply for that. That entails the anchor benefit, the senior freeze, and the Stay New Jersey program. So what a lot of people get mixed up are the Stay New Jersey program, which reimburses you on your property taxes, and the Save New Jersey program, which is different and which is what we're talking about today. So the Save New Jersey program gives you discounts on your pharmaceutical drugs, on your utility bills, on your hearing aids, different services. There's even rebates for if you get your dog or cat neutered in some vet hospitals. So just something to get on. It won't help with your property taxes directly, but it will help with other cost-saving programs across New Jersey, such as the programs we just mentioned. So key important difference there. What if I don't meet the income limits? I would still apply. The worst they can do is just decline you. This way you get in the system. So it should be easier to apply for later on. And let's say maybe you do meet the income limits in a year or two. It's just worth it to be in the system and get in the habit of applying. So I would definitely just apply, even if you don't feel you meet the income limits. And who knows, maybe you do meet the income limits. Maybe something, God forbid, happens where you do have to retire. Maybe some things change. It's really mostly for people in retirement, and you just never know what's going to come around the corner. So I would still encourage you to apply in any event and get in the habit of doing so. Can I apply if I live in subsidized or senior housing? It's a good question. You should be able to. Mostly they do this based on household income limits. So you absolutely should apply in any event. My spouse and I have different medical needs. Can one of us qualify if the other does not? Well, they don't really go by medical condition. They go by income limits. So um, yes, you should still apply. The rule of thumb, and what a lot of these questions tie into, is I would just fill this out in any event, just so at least you get in the habit of one, applying, but two, so you're in the system. If you do get rejected, it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your time, and then you might get in anyway. So they won't discount you or disqualify or qualify you based on your medical needs. They do it based on your income limits. So I would just apply anyway and try and get in. And if you don't, next year is always open. Last question, best for last. What's the risk if I don't apply for New Jersey Save or PAS1? So the bigger risk is PAS1 because you want to get your property and your name in the system. Some of the programs are done on a rolling basis. So the biggest risk is you just miss out on the savings. So they're pretty substantial savings right there. The biggest risk of all is you don't get your property registered for the senior freeze. So a lot of times that goes on a rolling basis. So you definitely want to get your property in for the cycle so you qualify for the next senior freeze cycle. So the next biggest risk is obviously losing the money of the anchor benefits, of the state of New Jersey benefits. Just leave a lot of money on the table by not applying. So the deadline again for that, the PAS1 application is October 31st. You don't want to miss that one. The risk of not applying for the New Jersey Save program, similar, you just leave money on the table. That one's a little bit more lax, but there's no deadline. You definitely want to mark your calendars for the PAS1 deadline, October 31st. If you want, we have a calendar that reminds you automatically. We'll be sending out reminder emails to you with the guide if you're on our mailing list. If you're not on our mailing list, please send us a direct message. Happy to send it to you. But that's really it. You just lose money on the table. You definitely want to keep applying for these things. You'll be surprised how easy it is to forget the way life gets super busy. So we're happy to be your chief reminding officers and just keep reminding you to apply. And we have a simplified guide that's really easy for you to apply, especially for the PAS1. You definitely want to come prepared with that with all your documents ahead of time. And if you're prepared, you have a checklist. We have the checklist for you on how to apply. It shouldn't be too bad. And then, you'll get in the habit of applying. It'll just become second nature to keep applying every year.